What is going on, squad? Welcome back to another episode of Happy Hour with Jay. I have got an exciting show for us today. I'm calling him a social media celebrity. If you're in the Gen X world around my age, 50, 40, whatever Gen X is, I'm not even versed on the actual numbers of that, but old dudes like me that love funny stuff. I've got Jon Wellington on the show today. He is on Instagram, social media, TikTok, all of those bad boys as Dadbod Veteran. I guarantee when you Google that, just go to thedadbodveteran.com, dadbodveteran.com. Jon is a veteran of the U.S. Navy. Jon, again, thank you for your service, brother. You'll find all his social media. I guarantee you when you see him, you're going to know exactly who he is. Whenever I got the call to have him on the show, I didn't know the name Jon Wellington. I didn't know the name Dadbod Veteran. As soon as I clicked the link, I'm like, I love this dude. Like, makes me laugh. Unbelievably funny guy. Wait till you hear this story. Wait until you hear this story. Like, I'm still buzzing after talking to Jon. You're going to be blown away. You're going to think this is one of the coolest things you've ever heard. Before we dive into that, as always, Happy Hour with Jay is sponsored by Buzzed Buddy. If you are a consumer of anything alcoholic beverage, I don't care if it's cold beer, I don't care if it's champagne, I don't care if it's wine, tequila, mixed drinks, daiquiris, whatever it is, you got to be using Buzz Buddy. Buzz Buddy is an alcohol support product. It's going to help metabolize the toxins that alcohol creates. It's why you get up feeling like crap the next morning. It's why you get a headache. It's why you get overly dehydrated. It's why you feel like bleep. All right. Buzz Buddy's going to stop that. Buzz Buddy's going to mitigate that next day feeling like crap. So you're going to take 2 before you drink, 2 after you finish, or you can take all 4 capsules sometime in the middle of that drinking extravaganza. And I don't care if it's 1 glass of wine, 1 glass of champagne. Lori and I don't drink without it. Because listen, at 50, approaching 51, I got to protect this liver. I got to protect this brain. I got to protect this body. And if I can mitigate some of the toxic effects of the alcohol, even though, listen, we're all drinking to have fun, but then it sucks the next day, right? When you wake up feeling like crap, Buzz Buddy's going to make next day fun too. It's going to make tomorrow a good time. So you don't have to wake up feeling like crap, feeling sluggish, feeling brain dead, feeling like blah. Trust me, I promise. Go to the website, buzzedbuddy.com, buzzed, buddy, buddy.com. You're immediately going to get 15% off if you just sign up right there on the front, the homepage. Sign up because I've got something really cool happening soon. Buzz Buddy is turning 1. It's going to be the Buzz Buddy birthday bash coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I don't want you to miss out because I'm going to be giving away on Buzz Buddy's birthday. I'm going to be giving away some really cool stuff and some really awesome opportunities, maybe some jumbo discounts, maybe some free product. I may send you a birthday cake, even though it's not your birthday. We're going to do some fun stuff, guys, because that's what Buzz Buddy's all about. We want you to have fun, but we also want you to be smart. We want you to drink intelligently. We want you to be a smart consumer of beverage. So check out the show. You're going to love Jon. Get yourself a bag of Buzz Buddy, buzzbuddy.com, and saddle up. Listen to the show. You're going to love it. And get out there and go see Jon when he's on the road. All right, guys. See you on the flip side. Here comes the show. Jon, welcome to the show, brother. I'm super, super excited to have you.
Jay, thank you. I really appreciate you letting me be on your show, man.
Yeah, kind of like we were chatting before, we're both old dudes. I'm 51, I'll be 51, you're 46. So social media, the internet, podcasts, like you and I did not grow up in this world. I mean, our phones were still attached to the wall growing up.
I mean, we did grow up when it was just all face to face,
Right. Yeah, exactly. That was the
now
real
this world
social.
put it all online for us to go and hash it out there.
Yeah, and I was telling you before we jumped on, like when I got the notice to have you on the show, like I'm on social media because I have multiple businesses and, you got to do it in order to be relevant these days. But I just, I'm not on there like start seeking things out. But when I find something that's funny, I'm like, all right, I'm going to follow this person. They always make me laugh. I didn't put 2 and 2 together of who you were. And then I clicked the link and I'm like, I absolutely love this guy. You've got like the same kind of like humor and the same kind of like banter and wit that I have. And so like, I can't wait to talk to this guy. So let's kick it off there. Like, I know a little bit of your story, but the audience probably doesn't. It's like social media guru, like celebrity. That was never on your radar.
No, I tell everybody that I talk to, this is the dumbest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. because this is not part of any plan anywhere in my entire life's story. Like you think about, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to get a good job, I'm going to do all those things. And then all of a sudden you're a social media creator.
Yeah.
This is dumb. So dumb, but in the coolest way possible, right?
Yeah.
Because the fact that this is even a thing to
Totally.
somebody of our generation, that this is even a thing that's possible is wild. That I could sit there on my phone and talk to it for, 2 or 3 minutes at a clip and all of a sudden becomes something relevant.
Yeah.
Silly. It's the
What's
concept is silly,
I
but I
think
love it.
for yeah, and for our generation too, I think it's like you're saying a lot of things that we think. You know what I mean? On a daily basis, like I have these thoughts that aren't presentable to the regular world, but they stay in my brain. And so sometimes when I click on your page, I'm like, okay, Jon just said in a little bit of probably a sweeter version than I would have said it, but he just said what I'm thinking, right? And so I
It's the
think that's why
Disney
you
delivery.
resonate.
That's what I call it, the Disney delivery, right? Because
Yeah,
it's got the undertones. Like if you watch a Disney movie these days, it's got undertones that are meant for the adults, right?
right,
The kids don't usually catch on to them. And that's kind of what the character does is he sends it in a way that's acceptable to the masses, but you hear the undertones. You know what he meant if you're
right.
listening right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know if it's just me, you, and there's no recording devices, we're gonna have a little bit of a different conversation.
exactly.
and I
There's a
love and
different
I
version of
love
me
that.
outside of the videos.
Yeah, I love that about you. So let's talk. Give me this is just how my brain works. Like it's a little bit of a ping pong match. First video you ever did, like was it? Were you thinking about a video? Did somebody just record you saying something funny, or you said something funny and somebody's like, "Hey, that would be unbelievable for social media." How did you kick off?
No, actually, there's a story behind it, right? So the story is that my youngest son, I'm a dad, always have been a dad since I was 18. My youngest son of 5 was leaving early for boot camp, and he left earlier than I expected, so I didn't get the summer with him. And I was having empty nester syndrome, and so I started recording videos telling stories of the way the world was before when I was a kid in this sarcastic kind of way. And I created this voice that was really just a voice that I would love to hear stories from.
Right.
He was nothing more than that. Right. And so I was telling these stories and I was, kind of documenting this library of things to give to my grandchildren whenever they were born, which they still haven't been born yet. And then somebody sent me a video and they said, "Hey, what does the dad bod think about this?" And it was the pizza before GPS video. And that was the first one that really clicked with him. And, all I did was I just said, in the voice, I said that they looked at the map on the wall. They knew exactly where the roads were. And then they came and they gave them the pizza and they exchange money, and that was it, right?
Right.
It went bonkers. It was like 3 million in a week. It was wild. And I was
Insane.
like, why? And I'm at like maybe 50,000 followers at this point.
Right.
Nothing, right? And only on TikTok. And that went bonkers. Then people started asking me, they send me more videos. And they said, what does he think about this? What does he think about this? And it started to become this self-perpetuating cycle of
Right.
him reviewing the world. And then I was like, okay, there's something there. There's
Yeah.
obviously something there, because within like 6 months, we're at 1 million.
That's
And
crazy.
it's wild. And so then we diversified. We got on all the other platforms and we improved the quality of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And that turned it into this monster that it is today with a voice that was never supposed to be.
That's so
Honestly,
cool.
it's
And really,
crazy.
you're just like the whole pizza thing. I mean, that's just the way it was, right? It's like a 45, 46, 50-year-old brain doesn't, you ordered pizza, they showed up at your house somehow, right?
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah,
They,
somehow,
they just
someday.
knew. They
Right.
had a map and
Yeah.
this was even before MapQuest, right? They had to know exactly what the turns were and all that. And that's how our brains used to work, was you used
Yeah.
to actually memorize things.
If
We
I
had to
was in
do it
outs
professionally.
Yeah, I was in outside sales when I was super, my 20s, and I had books of maps, like I think they called them like Thomas guides or
Yeah,
something like
Thomas
that.
guides.
Literally in my car. So I'd be like reaching behind me trying to get the Thomas guide and be like, "Oh crap," because I lived in Dallas at the time. And so I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't know where I'm going. Like, where is this place? And like you're trying to drive and read this thing. You think cell phones are dangerous. You should have a Thomas guide in your hand.
Yeah,
Like
pull,
that's a
pull out the
whole
big
new
old
ball
fold
game.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool though. And then you keep saying we. Do you have somebody helping you? And then did you always, or the first one where you just kind of like raw dogging it, like I hope I get this right? Like,
Yeah. The first one was accidental. I mean, I was just playing around. I never intended it to become anything. When I say we, I mean me and the missus, really. She's my
okay.
editor in chief, my corrector, my sanity check. She's also the one that keeps me out of trouble, because there's some videos that I've made myself
Yeah.
that are farther on the other side of the edge than I should be, right? Because I do play this PC line where it's acceptable to the masses,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes I go way over that. But she keeps me in check. she'll be like, mm-mm, to go ahead and throw that out. So that's what I mean when I say we. It's just
Okay.
the two of us really. She keeps me honest in
I've
this whole
got one
situation.
too, and she'll be like, "You can't say that."
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "No, babe, let me say it again. It's funny. Like, let me." And
I
she'll,
promise this is
yeah,
really
and
funny.
she'll hear it for the third time, and she'll be like, "It's actually worse than it was the first
Yeah,
time you
yeah.
said it."
She's
Like
like,
you,
if you keep saying that, that's gonna make
yeah,
me mad.
yeah, you can't put that out there. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll be in my office.
And it's gotten so far that she's now for my stand-up comedy, she's the one that reviews all my scripts. So I'll
Smart.
do a performance in the living room. I'm about to do one here in about 2 days to her alone. And she'll be like, yeah, throw that out. She'll be like,
Yeah,
no, do it this way. So yeah,
that's cool. Is
she's
she in our age realm? Like she gets the
yeah, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, she's 3 years older than me. So
Yeah, so she gets the
she totally
era that
gets it.
we're
Yeah.
jamming in. I
Yeah.
love that. You mentioned the comedy specials. I love that. So we make a video, goes viral. We're a social media sensation.
We're a thing. Yeah.
Now you're on stage like in front of, real humans, which has got to be,
Another wild story. It wasn't supposed to happen at all, right?
yeah.
Again, it wasn't supposed to happen. So I've known Slim Sherry for pretty much we had the same upbringing in the social media world, started at the same time, kind of parallel paths. And so I've been DMing her. I've never met her in person. And she hits me up one day. She says, hey, do you want to go to Nashville and hang out with two other creators and do creator stuff and maybe meet some people, whatever. And I was like, sure, whatever, because I'm in the era of saying yes to everything.
Right.
Um, we never planned that it was going to be anything different than us just sitting around eating bonbons, watching rom-coms, painting our toenails, and then go out in town and maybe meet some people.
Yeah.
Then our wives got involved, and they were like, no, 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 we're not doing this trip for on our dime. We're going to pimp you guys out, and you're going to work for it. And so they called a local comedy club and they said, hey, local comedy club, we rented it out. It was just a little 100-seat club, Third Coast Comedy over there in Nashville. And we sold that show out in an hour after our first live stream. So we had to do another one. We sold that show out in I think a day after that. And all of a sudden the Gen X takeover was born. Now myself, Slim Sherry, and Kelly Mana have never done stand-up comedy in our life. Nick has. So
Okay.
that was my first time blind walking onto a stage. And the only reason that I was on that stage was because of the fact that I had a social media following and I was somewhat relevant.
Sure.
And we nailed it. I mean, we nailed it. I was nervous. I mean, I was going to throw up all over the place,
I was
but I
gonna say,
was
have you ever done
no.
public speaking? Done
Other
any?
than at work, in meetings and stuff like that. But I've
Yeah.
never done public speak. In fact, I have anxiety. I have stage anxiety, like horribly. I have
Yeah.
it still, even when I'm doing the shows today. But we created this thing, and all of a sudden, people loved it. And then they're like, "Where are you going next?" And we're like, "Well, we weren't actually planning on doing this, so we're not where we're gonna go." So
Yeah.
then
Where
we're like,
should
"Well,
where should we go?
yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was like throw a dart at the map. Where do we think our people are at?
Yeah.
Because that was the whole point of it, was to get in front of our people and let them see us and meet us in person. So Cleveland came up, and we did a show there at a piano bar, a dueling piano bar, which was really cool. 250 people, sold out in like a day. We're like, crap, this is a thing.
Right.
This is a mistake of a thing.
Right.
Then we did Atlanta. We did 2 shows in Atlanta in January, 350 seats, sold those out. Then we went to New Orleans. We did 2 shows at 350, sold those out. Then we went to Vegas and we played the Palms. Our 5th show ever doing stand up. We're playing the Palms in Vegas.
Really?
How silly does that sound?
That's wild.
That sounds so silly to me because I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
And then we go from there to St. Louis at Kelly's hometown, which was our biggest show yet to date. 2,200 people sold out.
What?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This is wild. Not even a year into doing stand-up comedy, I'm doing 2,200 people sold out shows, and we're on our way to Atlantic City on Thursday to play at Caesars, and then we're going to the Hard Rock in Cincinnati, and then the snowball is just going.
That is it's so awesome. Like I love stories like this. I love to see people win, especially when it wasn't even supposed to happen.
We're
And like,
not planning on winning. We're just
yeah.
riding this wave as long as it goes, and then
What?
when it stops, we'll stop.
But I think that's winning, right? It's like I think
Yeah,
in my interpretation of winning, it's like you're having a blast. You're doing
we
something you
are.
love to do. You're
Yes.
you're making other people have a good. I mean, in the world we live in today, like this is the pinnacle of winning, right? You're having fun, they're having fun, everybody's having a good. It's like there's nothing wrong with this, man. Like
No,
this
I
is
love it.
amazing.
I've never felt more guilty about doing something I enjoy
Yeah.
and almost making a career out of it,
No
because
way.
I feel like this isn't fair, because this really is just fun.
Yeah.
Because I've always had a job, right? And this is
Yeah.
just fun. It feels weird to me.
yeah, this isn't even probably work. You're like, yeah, sure, I'll do
No,
it. 100%.
no, we just do it. I mean, there is a lot of work associated with
Oh
it, but
my
it's a lot of
God.
fun
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Let's talk about the comedy for a second. So you're not a stand-up comedian, never,
No, I am now, I guess.
yeah,
I guess I
yeah,
could put that on my
I mean,
resume.
you strike me as the kind of guy that can fire off a good joke here and there.
Yeah.
But like the first time you're writing your set, I guess you want to call it, like, well, how are you putting this thing together? You're like,
I had no idea what I was doing. I had no what I did was, I'm a studier. I study
yeah.
better people than me, right?
Who'd
So
you
I started
watch? That's a great question.
yeah, I watch Burt Kreischer's one of my favorite, Tom
I love
Segura,
Bert. Yep.
Joe Coy,
Yep.
just got done watching Nate Bargatze,
Yeah.
John Kreist,
Yeah.
and then you go into the
Legends.
old guys, the Dices,
Yeah.
Richard Pryor, and those guys of that area. So I started studying some of the people that I love watching, not to study their content, but to study how they do it, how they
Right.
deliver, how they move, how they stand. I mean, there's a whole it is such a science to stand up comedy, and it's so individualized, right?
Yeah.
There's no two comics that are the same unless there's somebody that's just straight up copied somebody else,
Right.
and that's by design, right? We want to have the individual flares of every comic on the stage. So I brought that all together and I created this script that I thought was funny, but I kind of faux pod that a little bit. It went great. Don't get me wrong, it went great, but I realized that I made the comic script that was funny to me and not the comic strip that would be funny to the audience. And so everything from that first show in Nashville, I've never done again. It's
Okay.
I just kind of scrapped that script because I realized that I was making what I thought was funny.
Right.
Now I make what they think is funny, right?
Sure.
What's relevant to them, what's engaging to them. And I'm a storyteller comic, kind of like Burt Kreischer is. He's very much a storyteller comic. I love that style. In my opinion, it's harder to be a one-liner comic because
Yeah.
there's so much real quick setup, et cetera, that has to happen to make that successful, that I can take this story and put a bunch of punchlines in the middle of it and make it great. And now the script is completely different. And I think it's probably one of the best things I've seen on stage by watching myself, just by seeing how the comedy flows and how the story flows. I'm
Yeah.
loving this. I'm loving this.
That's
And I
so
have so many
cool.
more ideas for future scripts.
Yeah. Well, you're so right. Like I think I do a lot of public speaking. I've written a couple of books, so I've spoken in front of tons of people, and there's a what I did the same thing as you. Like I researched my favorite speakers
Yeah.
because it's all about delivery and timing and like where are you on the stage? Like what's
Right. When you deliver that punch.
your voice inflection. I mean, people don't
Yep.
realize like even as a comedian, it's like if you talk the same way the whole, it's like nobody okay, everybody's sleeping, right? It's all about
That's
voice
right.
inflection and like all those things. So that's masterful on your part to know that you needed to learn that craft.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, and there's so many legends out there to pick from, but I'm with you. I think the storytelling version of comedy is that's my jam as well. Like if I'm gonna watch a comic, that's what I want to see.
Especially if the story goes sideways. If you
Yeah,
can make the story go sideways funny, it's awesome. Like I
totally.
said, Bert, I think is one of the best at doing that. Um, but again, there's so many comics that somebody could model after. And here's the truth: stand-up comedy is not hard.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just exposing yourself. That's probably the hardest part, is to put yourself out there and just let it loose and let people laugh at you
Yeah.
and be willing to laugh at yourself as well.
Yeah. The
It's
best
probably the
ones are
hardest
all
part.
self-deprecating. The best
Oh
ones
God,
know
yes.
how to make
Self-deprecation
yeah.
is
Yeah.
it's a winner every time.
And Bert's a master of that. I mean, just, he shits on himself more than anybody else ever could. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? He's like, you're never going to be able to make fun of him because he's already
No,
said it about
he walks
himself.
on stage and takes his shirt off,
Yeah.
and
100%.
he's a
He's
big
like,
fat guy.
we're
There's
going to do
nothing more
this.
self-deprecating than that. I
Here
love
we
it.
go. That's awesome though, man. That's really, that's the cool part. Are you still finding the same, love for the social media side, or is it kind of a 50-50 jam? Like, what are you?
The social media side is still definitely got the flair, because that's where I started with, to creating this fandom per se. I have transitioned. I have started some new stuff with my daily Dadbod series, which is kind of me actually writing scripts for myself versus me using somebody else's content to react to.
Yeah.
I like it a lot more because it gives me the opportunity to reflect on things that are going on in my time, and kind of present that to the audience in a different way from the Dadbod's perspective, than rather just being somebody that's placating to somebody else's material. So um, it's dynamic and it's changing. I have ideas for some longer term, long form content that we're going to work on. We've dabbled in it a little bit with me and Mrs. DBV, the We Try It So You Don't Have to series that we did, which is on YouTube. If anybody wants to see that, you actually get to see her in form. pretty much making fun of
So
me.
it's
We
we
did have a
try it.
podcast for a while.
We try it so you don't have to.
Yeah, we try it so you don't have to.
Okay.
That's where she went shopping on Amazon and got the weirdest stuff,
Okay.
foods and stuff like that to try. We have a whole cabinet full of stuff we still haven't gone through.
Okay.
It's crazy.
All right. How do we come to this Dadbod Veteran? Like, how do we even nail that name? I mean, I know you're a veteran. Thank you for your service, U.S. Navy. Really appreciate that. So
yeah, because I'm a big dude and
okay,
I'm a veteran.
just,
I mean, there wasn't much thought to it. I was
it just
like,
made
what
sense.
what would sound good? And I was like, oh, well, I'm a dad bod. And that's something I got going for me. And I'm a veteran.
Okay.
And it's crazy. Like it's such a brand name now
Yeah.
that I still don't feel like it's such a brand name. But when I'm out in town, everybody knows that name. Or when I'm
Okay.
out in a place, everybody knows that name as a brand. And it feels weird because it was so organic the way that it came about. Nothing was planned on it. It was just, what's a cool sounding name that I could cling to?
So that's right. When you go out, that's people would say that before they'd be like, "Hey, John."
Yeah, they'll be like, "Hey, what's up, dad bod?" Like that's what I get all the time. What's up, dad
Okay.
bod? Yeah, or hey, that's the dad bod, or hey, you're the dad bod. That's what I get.
Well, that's kind of the sign that like you've breached, right. You've topped the mountain, at least in some metaphorical sense, is like you've gotten to a place where people are recognizing your brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty
No, and I
cool.
love it. I love it. I love being known as the dad bod.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Makes
I
it
was
easy
thinking
to be a
about,
big guy walking in a room.
yeah, I was thinking about the audience too. Like when you're looking at the audience, I mean, 100 now, the way we're doing like, 2,000, 5,000 people. Are you, is it us in the audience? Like who's out there? Is it younger, older?
No,
What's the,
it's mostly Gen Xers. I mean, it's
okay.
pinpoint Gen Xers. There are some late millennials who try to attach themselves, and there are some early, or excuse me, late boomers and early millennials that try to attach themselves to the group. But for the most part, when we look at the crowd, it's usually about 50 to 60 is usually the average range. Mostly female, believe it or not, that's in the crowd.
That was going to be my next question. What's the layout of that?
Yeah, and then we're talking about the comedy shows, right? So my
Yeah.
demographic on social media is more men of the
Okay.
same age range, but when we get into the shows, it's more women of the same age range.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think women just like to go to shows more
Yeah.
than men
More
do.
than dudes. Dudes just want to stay home, not do
Yeah,
anything. I don't
especially
want
at
to
our
get
age, you're like,
dressed.
oh, we could
Yeah.
watch it on TV. We don't need to
Yeah.
get dressed
I
up.
have to get I have to get dressed for
I
this.
have to put
Like,
pants
nah,
on.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You tell me how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know.
That makes total sense. Let's talk about this Atlantic City thing for a second. I mean, you got my brain reeling. Like, you got to be buzzing, man. That's so freaking
That's
cool.
wild. We're playing at Caesars Circus Maximus in Atlantic City. This is the silliest thing ever.
That doesn't make any sense. All right. I
But
mean,
here's the fun part, right? Because it's a 9 o'clock show. It doesn't start till 9 o'clock because it's on Friday, and that's a time that's difficult for everybody who wants to make the shows and get to Atlantic City. It's difficult for them to get there early.
yeah,
Our demographic normally doesn't go out at 9 o'clock
right.
to start their afternoon, so we are turning it into a giant pajama party. We will all
Okay.
be on stage in our pajamas.
Smart.
My pajamas were picked out by Kelly Mono, so it's a surprise what I'm wearing.
Uh,
But let me tell you, it's not what you would think that I would wear to.
it wasn't something you would pick.
I don't yeah, it's not something that
Okay.
I would have picked, but
All
I
right.
will tell you that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be so
Okay.
I'm trying to mix it into the set, at least on the front part.
Yeah.
Why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. It's going to be fun.
That's really cool. What's the anticipation of the crowd? I mean, do we know the numbers yet, or we have any ideas
Oh
of
yeah,
like,
yeah. We're at about like 75% right now.
that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's wild. And then we go straight over there. And this is going to be our first back-to-back show. So we have to get up, the show's not going to enter like 11. We got to get up at 3:30 to go get a flight to Cincinnati. And then we got to do another one on Cincinnati time that night.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a professional comic, dude. I mean, this is the road. You're on the road
Weird.
now.
This is so
You're
weird. I'm a
you're on the
20-year
road.
corporate guy, a 10-year military guy. This is so weird.
Yeah.
It's
It
fun.
is. It is weird, but it's got to be awesome. It's got to be really awesome. And then when I think about like, kind of like, how I stumbled upon your content, I mean, I think there's a relevancy to like we talked about earlier, like I want to hear guys like us, like on social media. Like for me, like I'm not going to resonate with a 20-year-old who's trying to pull the same shtick, right? It's like it just doesn't work for me
Yeah, yeah.
as a 50-year-old dude. But like whenever you lay this out, it's like, have you always been kind of a jokester, kind of a funny guy, kind of a,
I have just in a much smaller circle, mostly to my
banter?
family and friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never been to this level. My mom was probably my best supporter of being funny. Like I would sit and I've always done voices my whole life. That's
Okay.
the other thing as I do is when I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I'll fall into some sort of voice. It's somewhat mimicking other voices, but it's never actually a very good duplication. It's just whatever that voice sounds like in my head. Um, Scottish, Irish,
Yeah.
English, Arabic, all these different accents that I've tried over my life to go to because they are just my kind of safe place. And my mom was always my biggest supporter of and laughed at all of my jokes the most out of anybody. That probably kept me doing anything towards this direction. And then, now we are later in life with all this knowledge and all this experience, and we can turn them into stories. That's where it all kind of mixed together to make it more of a public opportunity.
Yeah. That's really cool. So I'm assuming you sound like you're describing yourself as like an introvert when like early on, and is that kind of changed, or
Yeah, I was
were
never
you the
like the
life of the
guy.
party?
Yeah, I was never the life of the party. I was always somebody who would love to be the life of the party,
Yeah.
but I never had that charisma like that to be the life of the party. And I was never like a dancer or anything like that. I worked as a bouncer a lot so I could go to clubs and get paid to do it because I
Yeah.
wasn't the kind of guy that would get out on that dance floor. So it's better to just be off to the side as a big guy, standing
Yeah.
there doing stuff. I yeah, I would not call myself somebody that was the most outgoing person in the world. I did have a very dorky phase when I was really younger with the long hair and the mullet and the bottle cap glasses and just a gangly little kid. And then high school hit, and here we go, and we put on weight and we became the big version of me
Yeah.
that led me up to this point right now. But it's never been my forte to be the one that walks in the room and just takes it over. Usually
Yeah.
left that for my missus to take care of that part.
Yeah.
They're way
Well,
better.
in reading a little bit of your bio, like something that really resonated with me was I read an article about you, and you said you never thought you'd make it past 40 because of the situation with your father
Oh
passing
yeah.
away so young. My dad
Yeah.
got killed when I was 5. And
Wow.
I had that same thought growing up, is like I never thought I would outlive you know what I mean? I never thought I would make it
Yeah.
to the age that my father was when he passed.
Yeah, it's crazy. That has been a huge thing for me and my brother. We always had this joke of who was going to die first before 40 because my dad
Yeah.
died at 39 and we never thought we'd make it to 40. And that was really honestly, that was one of the drivers behind starting this, besides my son, was that I didn't think I was going to be there long enough to see my grandchildren. And that's kind of why I wanted to create the library so much, was to allow my kids, my grandkids, to have and see me in person and hear my stories of how I grew up. That was a huge part of why I started doing what I did when I did the stories, because I don't have a library of videos for my dad to show to my kids.
Right.
In fact, my kids have never heard his voice, which is wild to me. And knock on wood, hopefully I'm going to make it to the point where I actually can see my grandkids and maybe tell these actual stories in a real person. But yeah, that's been hard. To be where I am in life is experience some of the things that I've experienced as a dad that I know that my dad never got to experience. Like for instance, my youngest son just had a wedding. And my dad didn't make it to my wedding.
Right.
And so that's been a difficult part of my life. And I try to put that in a positive spin back into the content,
Yeah.
share it with everybody else, some of these experiences that I get to do. But yeah, I call it living on extra innings.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I've
read
always
that.
said, is I'm on extra innings, so I'm going to do whatever the heck comes up and say
Love
yes
that.
to it, and make the best out of these extra innings, because we know it's all going to end at some point. We
Yeah.
don't know when and we don't know how, so enjoy the crap out of it.
I always think about it from the frame of like I call it dots. Like, and I've lived more dots than I've got left. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so I'm like, if all right, if there's less dots left in the on the paper, like I'm gonna make sure that I maximize all of those. And I kind of took the different direction than you. Like I think my dad got killed so young when I was 5 that I made the decision not to have kids, because I was like, I never want my kids to feel like I
Oh
feel. You
wow.
know what I mean? So I kind of took the opposite, like the
Yeah.
angle of that. But I totally relate to that, like in so many ways of like, but then I look at you now and I'm like, I mean, what a cool like library of experience that you've got, from the Navy to, your just work as an adult, right? And now
Yeah.
you're, I mean, I keep saying, social media celebrity. I don't even know what else to call it, but in essence, like you're living your best life in the extra innings. I mean,
I know.
I
It's
don't
crazy.
mean that in a weird way, like
No, no,
best
no.
life, but
That's
right
that's
now you're
exactly
on
what it
top of the
is.
world.
It's
Yeah.
it's like it's like I never peaked.
Yeah.
It's like I never peaked. And the fun part is that my kids are here to see it, right? They're
Totally.
all adults and they're all relishing together with me in it. I pick on some of them, yeah, of course, but that's part of being a dad. That's what I
I was
should
about to
do.
say you're a professional stand-up comedian. Now it's going to get worse. Tell them, say
It's
just
gonna get
they,
worse.
this is part of the shtick now.
I was like, look, man, if you tee it up, I'm gonna swing at it. Just gonna let
Yeah.
you know.
You sounded
No,
like Tom when you just said that. You sounded like Tom Segura. He always says, "Look, man," like
look, man.
like
Yeah,
he's
look,
like
man.
this when he's talking about his kids like being
Yeah.
maniacs. I'm
Oh
like,
my God. I
that
love
he
that.
cracks me. You remind me a little bit of him too. You got a little bit of like his delivery, like a little bit of like
He
you.
is
He's
he's a
hilarious,
wild man. Like if
hilarious.
you watched his Netflix series,
Yes,
bro, I had to wash my brain after watching that.
yeah, he's
That
wild.
is that is like I can't believe that his brain came up with that.
And you wouldn't think it. Like whenever, like
No,
if
when you
you,
see his
yeah,
stand up, you don't think that at all.
no. Sometimes I watch he and his wife. They have their podcast thing,
Yeah,
and I'm like, these two are absolutely ridiculous, and
they
I love
are.
every second of it. Like
They're wild, but
they
just
can
the thing.
literally just make you laugh by not. They're not even trying to tell a joke. Like
No, they're
they're
just
literally
talking.
just being normal. Like, and I'm like, this is to live in their house must be just chaos.
You just wait till their kids grow up.
100%.
Wow, that's scary.
100%. But you're living your best life, man. I love everything about this. I love the fact you guys are going on tour. It's like, are you, and I know that you may not have an answer for this. Like you're playing casinos, you're multiple, you're in front of thousands of people now. Is like, are we just letting it run? I mean, are we just like, hey,
Yeah, we're going to wherever it goes. I mean, there's other conversations about bigger things
that's
that
cool.
I'm not saying no to. Let me say it that way.
I love that.
And I don't know if any of them will come to fruition. And if they do, you'll see me in a different perspective, in a different
Okay.
light, on a different stage than I've done thus far. And like I said, I'm saying yes to everything. If the world wants to say no, it's going to say you don't have enough time or money, and
I love it.
then no will happen. But so far, there's not been a no.
Listen, we can always find the money. Like
Yeah,
if there's time, then we'll find the money. Let's don't worry about
right.
that. You know what I mean? Like you guys are doing something really, really cool. And I mean, I don't see it like slowing down. It's like I said, like I get 100 pitches for somebody to be on the show. And like I've done, I mean, close to 400 and something episodes. Like
I saw that.
you get to a point where you get tired of having the same conversation over and over again. It's like, okay,
I can imagine.
tell me about a time whenever like, so when I get somebody refreshing like you, I'm like, okay, like I'm going to make time to talk to this guy selfishly. Like I just
That's
like,
awesome.
I love interesting people and I love people who like are in that state of yes. Cause I'm a yes guy too. Like at 51 coming up on that, like I'm maximizing the hell out of the rest of this thing. And so if you throw something at me, I'm going to say yes to it. I'm going to figure out
Yeah,
how to do it.
yeah.
So that's
Figure out to make
pretty
it happen.
cool. Pretty cool, man. Well, I wish you nothing but unbelievable success, John. I mean,
Thank you, Jay.
you're doing something cool. Dadbod Veteran everywhere, right? So we're
That's right.
TikTok, Instagram,
Just go to the
anything.
dadbodveteran.com. You can find all the links in there. And don't forget about genxtakeover.com for all the tour info.
Can we get so if we go to dadbod.com, we'll be able to find the comedy stuff as well?
Yeah, the dadbodveteran.com. Make sure you put
Okay.
the on the front.
The Dadbod Veteran. Okay, I'll make sure we get that in the show notes. The Dadbod Veteran, so we can find all the show notes. Well, man, I'm in Southern California, and always, if you guys
We are heading your
ever
way. We're
love
heading
it,
your way.
shut up.
Probably 26. Yeah.
Okay, and I go
Yeah,
to
we're already
Vegas.
booking out 26. It's wild.
I go to Vegas all the time. If I would have known, I would have gone to the Palms and saw you guys. So I will make the declaration that when you are in this area, I'll bring a crew and
Awesome.
we'll laugh and we'll have some fun and we'll meet in the real social of real life
The
someday.
old fashioned social.
The old fashioned, not even shake a hand or two.
Oh my God. What? It'll never work.
John, you were a legend, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks
Thanks,
for
Jay.
popping on the show today. Thanks for entertaining us. Thanks for living a life worth living, man, and having fun
Thank you.
doing
I
it.
appreciate it. I
All right,
appreciate
brother.
it.
We'll see you soon.
All right.